Rothesay Spitfire Ground it's the final day of the season. It's the final day of the Derbyshire Rothesay County Championship. Umpires riding out to the middle of Cluberly and Well, Matson leads out Derbyshire. Two against second innings, Ben Compton and Harry Finch. Scorers Lord Hart and Jane half-match referee was Peter Sutch, James scorer has been throughout the season, the very quick that announced unbelievable Rothesay.
Morning from Canterbury, the final day then of the county cricket season, and we do have some cricket to bring you. I wasn't sure if it was going to be the case. Points in the day yesterday, but Kent still have 5 second innings wickets remaining as Derbyshire look for an innings victory here, having posted a whopping 698 on the board declared. Kent 271 all out of their first innings yesterday, despite a half-century each from Akansh Singh and Ben Dawkins. Joey Everson got one for Kent in the second innings, and then the not-out batter Ben Compton looking to end his stellar season on a high, even if Kent themselves have not had a great season in this format, bottom of the pile for the first time in 30 years. In fact, it was all just one table at that point. It wasn't a Division 1 and Division 2, of course. So Ben Watts here from BBC Radio Kent, Dave Fletcher from BBC Radio Derby, and Derbyshire,
Hello.
Of course, are looking to end the season on a literal high for the last decade.
Oh yes, absolutely. They've never finished as high as third in the second division, which of course is not third, it's some way down. But anyway, yeah, no, it's been a decent season.
And they're underway with Lewis Rees into the attack, left arm seamer to Harry Finch. Next ball 40 overs old. Finch there on 8 not out. Ben Compton resuming on 55.
12 runs, and he'll be the leading scorer in the second division. Ben Compton, ahead of Saif Zaib.
It's a little personal milestone for him to knock off. Matt Cole was talking to him last night actually about his season. As Rees is in and bowling to Finch. Forward comes the Kent captain to play defensively, and he said something along the lines of, it's quite hard to look at what I've achieved this season right now because we're getting absolutely pummeled in the game, but maybe in a couple of weeks' time I might be able to look back and think, actually I've had a heck of a summer.
I wasn't at Ben Compton's interview, but I did hear various reports from it.
So Rees is in and bowling. Finch lets this one go outside the off stump.
I think somebody might have been fishing for him to say, yes, we shouldn't play this much cricket, because twice he was asked, well, how difficult is it to get yourself up for this game when there's nothing on it? And twice he rebuked it with, or rebuffed it with, what are you talking about? There's plenty on it. There's a double century in this match for Lewis Rees. He could get a 5 for in this innings. He's going for the leading run score in the second division. There's plenty to play for.
I think Ben Compton's the wrong person to be asking that question. This one's driven in the air past short cover by Harry Finch. Let's see how slow this outfield is in the morning dew. They're going to come back for 3, but it was a drive that he's chased somewhat there, Finch, and wasn't far away at all from Wayne Madsen in close proximity at short cover. Ben Compton's the sort of bloke that would bat all day in the park against whoever wanted to rock up probably, and wouldn't give his wicket away. So I doubt he's going to be complaining about how much cricket they play. He probably wants to play more of this format, to be honest.
I think he said he was going a little bit of time off, as most other county cricketers will do, and then go and play some domestic cricket in South Africa.
Yeah,
and he's going to carry on playing essentially throughout the course of the winter. So yes, but I just think there was a certain amount of fishing for. We play too much cricket, and yet they've just voted to carry on playing as much cricket.
Ben Compton then the man on strike. Reece Bowles to him in defence. Yeah, he's played first-class cricket in Zimbabwe in the last few years, as well as South Africa, as he mentioned in that interview. So yeah, he's the kind of character that will just keep on playing. Just loves batting, being out there, and holds that high price on his wicket. Update on the way for radio. Yeah, final day of the cricket season, and Kent are out there resuming on 100 and now 39 for 5 as Compton in fact plays this one away for 4 more runs. He's closing in on being the Division 2's top run scorer with almost 1,400 runs this season. He's had a fine season. Compton is now on 59. Finch up the other end on 11. Could have almost been caught at cover a moment ago. Nothing on this game for Kent, who of course are going to finish bottom of Division 2. The last time they were bottom of the County Championship was 30 years ago, and it was all one division. Derbyshire looking to finish third with a possible innings victory, having got 698 for 6 declared on the board in this game. So they're trying to wrap up the 5 wickets that they need to win. Kent 143 for 5. Of course, Sussex finished their season yesterday, beating Worcestershire in a slightly more dramatic finish than perhaps they would have anticipated, with losing 7 second innings wickets when they were chasing less than 70 to win. But the other remaining game of interest is, of course, Surrey against Hampshire in Division 1, where a defeat for Hampshire would likely see them relegated. But if they can win it, they'll stay up, with Yorkshire-Durham looking like it's going to be a draw. They need 29 more runs to win. They've got 1 wicket remaining, 1 wicket for Surrey to finish off the season in second, and 29 more runs for Hampshire to try and stay up. So nail-biting finish to that one. Commentary available as of this game via the BBC Sport app and website.
Ben Aitchison from the Nackington Road end pushes bowls, and it's pushed. The first ball he bowls is put. Come on, sort yourself out. Is pushed by Harry Finch out into the offside, and there's no run. It's this brightness, I can't cope with it. It was very gloomy. The lights were on for the entirety of yesterday. No danger of them being required today. Glorious sunshine here in the southeast, the far southeast. I'm just thinking about the drive home. But who knows, it might be on the back of a Derbyshire win. Here's Aitchison again. Finch leaves that one alone to go through to Brooke Guest. Yeah, that Hampshire-Surrey game is bordering on disastrous. I'm not sure anybody wants to spend 4 days in the middle of nowhere during the County Championship season, but that might be the case if they lose that. And as you said there, that Yorkshire-Durham game, I think Yorkshire lead by 120 now. They've only got 1 wicket left in the second innings. Durham are going to have to fold. I'm sure they've got it in them. That's Aitchison bowls wide of the off stump again, left alone by Finch. Of course, Ben Aitchison has a very good reason for wanting to finish this. He has a ticket, I'm told.
Does he?
For Twickenham to watch Sister Holly play for the England women's rugby team in the Rugby Union World Cup final against Canada. 4 o'clock kick-off. So he's got half a chance, you would have thought. A fast car waiting at the gates.
I'm going to look it up now, how long it's going to take him.
Yes, that would be interesting. The other side of London, isn't it, of course? As Aitchison is in, and Finch is forced to play that one. He dabs it down into the offside, and in comes an Aaron Donald to do the fielding. Now you put down an interesting catch. Yes, it didn't cost Derbyshire much more than 1 run, in fact, and it put down Joey Evison on 52. He made 53. What are we thinking?
Couple of hours. It's Saturday morning traffic. It's not the happiest route. You've got to go M2, A2, and then round the M25 and then into London slowly.
As he bowls Aitchison to Finch, who cuts this away, nicely fielded there at backward point by Anuj Dal. As he so often does, the ball seems to sticking his, just wringing out his left hand. I'm not surprised because it was hit quite hard, but he managed to stop it. Well, on the way here, it took me around the bottom of London, around the southern section of the M25. But I'm not sure which way it'll take me back, so I'm going back to the northwest. It'll probably take me around the south and up the M40, I would have thought. Aitchison, he's gone for that one outside the off stump and missed it. It was a little bit wider than perhaps Finch thought, and he hasn't missed it by much as the ball goes through to Brooke Guest, but a decent start and made an over for Ben Aitchison to begin with. 5 overs for 23 he's bowled now. Kent have moved on to 143 for 5. They're still 284 behind. I don't think that's particularly relevant. They will have to bat all day with 5 wickets left, and this is the pair you feel. Poor old Corey Flintoff out for a 2-ball duck yesterday. Grant Stewart didn't really get going. Mikey Cohen, of course, the night watchman, played the shot of the season to get out at the end of day 2.
It was so Village, wasn't it? It was so Village.
Magnificent. Full toss straight back to the bowler, and Matt Parkinson. So that's what's to come.
Reece bowling to Compton. Forward he comes to defend. Yeah, I must admit I wasn't really following the Hampshire game yesterday, and it was at the point of 4 o'clock when Matt did his update and said that they were 8 down, and I thought, what's gone on there? They were 61 without a loss, chasing 180 to win, and then find themselves in this position where they need 30 to win with 1 wicket remaining. Brad Will blocking it at one end and James Fuller swinging at the other. As Reece is in and bowling, Compton goes back and plays back up the pitch.
I bet it's tense there because they know the consequences, don't they? If they don't get secure the draw points, they are in all sorts of trouble.
Looks like Fuller. Well, actually, Brad Wheels hit a boundary, so they're 25 from victory now.
Remarkable.
As Reece is in and bowling. Once again, Compton just playing forward.
Kev James and Churchy together, that would be I'm not suggesting you listen to anywhere else on the BBC Sport website and that, but that would be a terrific listen. One will be very, very nervous. You could probably guess which one.
Hopefully Church is winding him up in the process.
Oh, you'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would be.
Reece bowls to Compton. A little flick into the leg side, and that's actually well timed across the square down towards the deep square leg boundary. Retrieved in the end by Morley, and they come back for 2. So Compton moves to 61 and Kent to 145 for 5 in their second innings. Yeah, I don't think anybody would have needed to have given Ben Compton a pep talk ahead of this one.
No. It's almost set up for him, isn't it, really? Just go out there and bat, Ben. Really? Thanks very much.
That's what I like to do. Faces Reece, or it's a short ball, actually. Surprise short ball, which he lined up very briefly and then decided actually that's daft. Don't need to be trying to play those. So sways out the way. Ducks underneath it. 1 ball remaining in the over. Reece defended away, back up the pitch after his fine spell of bowling at the top end of this innings, where he took out the England under-19 trio at the top with the new ball. Got the nerves going. Maybe gave Derbyshire hope of victory inside 3 days, but for Compton and Everson to come together and delay proceedings into today.
We all had that hope. No, they batted nicely until Everson fell to a decent catch from Martin Anderson in the covers. Reese's 49th wicket of the season in the Championship as Aitchison begins a new over from the Nackington Road end. Ball pushed out by Finch into the offside, where it's fielded by Harry Kane. 3 slips, and Aaron Donald at first, Wayne Madsen at second, Martin Anderson at third. Backward point, extra cover. Nobody on the cover boundary. Mid off, mid on, and mid wicket. Poor old Jack Morley. A deep backward square leg, miles away from his mates. Aitchison, a straighter delivery. Finch turns it up towards mid on, but Amrit Basra steps in ahead of Zach Chappell to do the fielding.
You would expect that Jack Morley could potentially have a busy day. Once he gets the ball in hand, he might not get it ripped off him, in fairness.
No. Never at any stage had Jack Morley and Harry Kane bowling in tandem on a bingo card, though. Aitchison is into Finch, who pushes it out to the offside. It actually arrives a lot slower than Dell was expecting, and he was already on the floor by the time the ball reached him. But yeah, Harry Kane had bowled 1 over before this match, this season.
Yeah, Derbyshire's all-round attack is full of, well, the team is full of all-rounders, but the attack is full of seamers rather than second spinner.
Even Wayne Madsen had a bowl yesterday, first time since April. They're not even occasional bowlers, Kane and Madsen. They just never bowl. Finch waits for this next one from Aitchison and leaves it alone outside the off stump to go through to Brooke Guest.
It's one of those sort of scenarios where if Tom Bailey of Lancashire was playing, he'd have given up with his seamers and just started bowling the spin.
Yeah. Did that in a game I was listening to the other day. I can't remember where I was. Must have been in the car, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think he did do it briefly here a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Scott Reed was trying to work out how many of his wickets he'd taken with spin, which was a fairly low percentage. As that one is striking the pad. Oh, Finch, and he's gone, and Aitchison has the breakthrough. And is that the first of a number of wickets in quick succession? Well, Derbyshire will be hoping so. Aitchison strikes, and Kent 145 for 6 now. Finch goes for 11.
He's the man with the place to be, Ben Aitchison. And yeah, it looked good from the off, actually. As soon as Finch missed that, it looked like he was in trouble. And having another look on the stream, looks like it's going to crash into middle and leg, I reckon. Nice full delivery. Finch has played all around it. And yeah, not too much for the umpire to have to think about there. So with Finch, Compton possibly loses the most likely man to stick around with him today. Grant Stewart striding to the crease. He's more the kind of guy you want when you're trying to biff the ball out of the park rather than bat out a day for a draw. That feels a long way off.
And here is Grant Stewart, who has got a couple of centuries this season, I believe. So more than capable, clearly.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
if he does get them, they'll be very entertaining and quite quick.
It was the game at Blackpool which stands out in particular, where Mitch Stanley was banging it in at him and he was just hooking it back over his head for 6. It was a rather entertaining spell of cricket.
So 1 down, 4 to go. Hampshire inching towards that target. They're 23 adrift now, with the last pair out in the middle. Here comes Aitchison in a bowls to Stewart, who struck on the pad, going down leg side. Possibly the appeal was stifled pretty quickly. He did get himself in a bit of a mess there, Grant Stewart, in truth, but Good over from Ben Aitchison, who picks up his first wicket. It was a wicket made, in fact, 1 for 23 from his 6 overs in this second. And he picked up a couple in the first as well. 2 for 59 first time around. And as Ben said, a man with somewhere to be at 4 o'clock this afternoon. I should put a request in to interview him, shouldn't I? Really hack him off. Ben, yeah, you couldn't just wait till 2 and then we could have a nice long chat about your season.
He would love that, I'm sure.
I'm not sure I could do that to anybody, even if I didn't like them, and I do like Ben.
So Rees to Compton. He's just prodded away into the offside. You mentioned the 2 Grant Stewart hundreds. I was obviously talking about the 130 that he scored from 122 balls, which bizarrely was to help Kent get a draw at Blackpool against Lancashire. Grant Stewart's method for getting a draw was banging it all around Stanley Park. And then he had 182 at Bristol, again another pretty small ground that's too small when Grant Stewart starts striking them. Got 182. It's pulled away by Compton down towards long leg. I mean, that's just not cricket really, when the number 8 comes out and whacks a runner ball 182, 24s and 5 6s.
No, he's a very fine striker of the ball. I'm sure he scored runs at Derby last time he was there.
Definitely got wickets in that game, I seem to remember.
Probably did both, yeah.
That Division 3 fixture that I was there for.
The big Division 3.
Yeah, the big Division 3 face-off.
Wow. Yorkshire have now been bowled out for 475, so the lead is 129 at Headingley. Hampshire are still 9 down. It's you.
It is. It's Rees with 2 slips to Stewart. Prods it off the back foot into the covers. 22 required now for Hampshire.
You'll discover on day 4 that my concentration levels are fairly lax, really.
36 for Fuller. Wheels still there on 4. 4 more than my producer Ryan was suggesting he was going to get in that partnership yesterday. Here comes Rees. Well, that's a very full delivery, which is driven back past him for 4. Nicely played by Grant Stewart, overpitched from Rees. Stewart takes the opportunity to almost prod it back past the roller.
But it's almost like I can think of describing that delivery from Lewis Rees, and it is one we see a lot. It's almost like a sinker in baseball, where the batter thinks, it's coming at a nice height, and then it dips at the end and tries to sneak it under the bat, but it's not amongst his quicker deliveries.
In the end, it ended up being at quite a nice height for
a full toss, yes.
for Stewart to knock it back. Not those kind of full tosses that you smack back of the vault like Cohen did to Morley.
No.
More those kind of full tosses that you get when you're warming up as a batter and trying to hit a few out the middle with some throwdowns. No ball from Rees as he comes around the wicket to Stewart. Ball's on the stumps and it's played into the offside. 150 coming up with that boundary, by the way, for Kent. 152. Courtesy of the no ball for 6. Saif Zaib is batting, by the way.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, so he has just gone past 1,400 runs.
Right.
For the season, so he's actually getting away from Compton right now.
Well, that's disappointing.
That is disappointing.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, they're trying to save the game, aren't they? Ooh.
Down the leg side here from Rees. Guess does want to get a hand on that actually and prevent it being 4 byes. It's just 1.
I say they're trying to save the game. They're not going to save the game. That game has followed pretty much the pattern of this one, it seems to me. Largely, much like the Middlesex one, where Middlesex piled up a huge score and forced Gloucestershire to follow on. But they're 140 for 5, aren't they, Northamptonshire? It doesn't look like they're going to save it. And Leicestershire will be presented with the 2nd Division. Apparently you get a trophy. Who knew?
Ooh.
The 2nd Division trophy at the conclusion of that game.
Leicestershire certainly didn't know. Here comes Rees. flicked away into the onside for 1. I mean, a few games into the season, their supporters were probably thinking, we've won a few games here. This is fun, because they've gone from being the side that couldn't win a couple of seasons ago,
Yeah, absolutely,
to getting promoted.
Well, Leicestershire and Derbyshire, certainly this century, but even before that, the two statistically worst teams as far as wooden spoons are concerned in the country. So it's nice not to have to worry too much. Apparently a wooden spoon was handed to Lorne by
Really?
Jane Wendy.
Excellent.
I'm not
rate that.
I'm not a big fan, really.
It's been 30 years in Kent situation.
Yes. Well, Derbyshire won it that many times, I think they thought they were going to keep it.
Start getting it engraved.
Yeah. It was known as the Derbyshire wooden spoon. No longer. You never know, though, do you? Ben Aitchison to continue. He's got the 2 slips now, so and Aaron Donald has moved somewhere else. And he bowls to Compton, who goes back and cuts this out towards point. Amrit Basra does the fielding. And Compton picks up another single. He moves to 64, 155 for 6 now, Kent. There's an iron. He's coming back into the slip cordon now for Grant Stewart. And Jack Morley just runs from one side of the ground to the other. Told us yesterday that when Lewis Rees turned up, I don't know why he told us this, but he did, and it was on the interview. Rees had a bit of an upset stomach. It's just been a joy for everybody in the changing rooms, I would have thought, as that one is off an edge, nicely fielded by Anuj Dalu. When he stops the ball, doesn't realise where it is, but he was off the field at the start of play. Well, he was on the field for about an over.
Okay.
And then he went off, and then when he came back on, one of the umpires was sort of pointing away to our right. I think he was telling him the quickest way to the toilet.
Oops.
Yeah, but he still managed to pick up a few wickets to move to 49 for the season. So 500 runs already secured. Can he get a 50th wicket to go along with that? It's Aitchison bowling at the moment, though, and Stewart turns that into the leg side, where Basra is waiting at square leg. And there's no run. Now, Jack was also telling us that he'd started to feel that he was bowling better, which we said it at Lords, even though I don't think he picked many wickets up, if any. Then he didn't play last week in that. Nobody played, really, did they? Yeah, they decided after losing day 1 they didn't really need a left-arm spinner. But he'd been messing around, I think tweaking was the phrase he used, with his bowling action in the middle of the season. This one is defended by Stewart back to Aitchison. You do wonder why they do that in the middle of a season.
Yeah.
I mean, he took 6 wickets in the first innings at Bristol. And then from then on, when he started tweaking his action, there were times when he didn't look like he knew where the ball was going. But the last couple of appearances, he's been back to his the kind of form that Mickey Arthur wants to see from him. He's still only young, 23, 24, but Mickey Arthur loves a left-arm spinner. Just needs to improve his batting now. As Aitchison is into Stewart, that one is driven, full delivery, up towards Rees at mid-off. Looked like he was trying to hit it quite hard, Grant Stewart.
Generally does. Pretty much his thing. Hitting the ball hard.
Harry Kame, the designated clapper today. He's at catching mid-wicket. I don't think he'll be called on to bowl. Things would have to be going very wrong. Aitchison bowls to Stewart, who just about gets his bat down on that one. Squirts it out into the offside. To the left of Lewis Rees, so they can scamper through for a quick single, and he can pinch the strike as well. 156 for 6. Stewart onto 5. Compton has 64. Derbyshire have 90 overs in which to get 5 wickets, and I sincerely hope they don't take all 90 of them. It'd be quite exciting if they did, obviously. Hampshire have lost to Surrey. They've bowled out for 160 in their second innings, which means now, as Durham begin their second innings 129 runs behind, they have to rely on Yorkshire beating Durham to stay in the First Division. And almost certainly means a 4-day trip to Hedge End next season. Lovely. We found one pub there last year. So mate says, "Well, go to this other one." He said, "Oh no, we're closed at the moment. We're open next week." Excellent.
Oh, here comes Reese Bowles to Stewart off the thigh pad. Drops away into the onside. Yeah, so Fuller with a little edge to the wicketkeeper off Chahar, who's ended up with 8 for the overseas spinner that they flew in just for this game. Sorry.
That's the definition of too much money, isn't it?
Yeah. I did see somebody suggest that Surrey might like to just pick a different overseas player for every single game of next season, which seemed like an entertaining idea as Stewart prods this out towards cover.
Go to an away game and wait to see what the conditions are like, and then get yourself on the phone.
Tap up their contacts. Who do we think would be the best man for the job?
Madness.
So Reese bowls. Stewart drives square of the wicket, past point, cover chasing it. Will get there. They'll come back for 2. A little bit in to out there with that driven stroke. Full delivery from the left arm of Reese.
He's got the 2 mid wickets, Wayne Madsen and Aaron Donald, which is always an indication that the pitch isn't quite as quick as the bowler and the fielding side might have hoped.
Ollie Curtis got caught by one of those in the first innings, didn't he? This one's played defensively by Stewart, so these 2 teams will face Hampshire twice next season then.
I might vote for change next time.
You on holiday the week that they're at Southampton next season. It's a lot closer for me than Durham, in fairness. So Kent fans might not mind as much.
No, true enough. It's not about me.
Book your hotels. Day the fixtures come out. Reese bowls. Clipped away leg side. Past the square leg umpire, in fact, by Grant Stewart for a single out towards the sweeper on the leg side. In fairness, I mentioned about Surrey bringing in an overseas spinner from India just for 1 game. In fairness, Hampshire did the same for 2 games in Washington Sundar. Unfortunately for them, they had to play Surrey.
I just find it slightly strange. I mean, gone are the days, aren't they? I think largely.
Where you get overseas for more than 5 minutes.
Well, Caleb Jewell, who was the overseas at the start, well, for all of this season, by the last couple of matches, because Cricket Australia wanted all the Australians back at home who were under contract in the Sheffield Shield. He is coming back next season, so. But it's an outlier, I think.
Yeah.
I'm being asked if I'm there. I'm not.
Well, Dave's going to update BBC Radio Derby as Compton looks to drive. That ends up just knocking it straight back to the bowler. Yeah, just reading on the BBC Sport Live text page. An edge from James Fuller going for a cut shot to Rahul Chahar. 8 for 51. Relegation not confirmed until the result of the Yorkshire-Durham game. If Yorkshire win at Headingley, Hampshire could be saved, but a feeling of despair hangs heavy at Southampton because the second innings of the match is only just getting underway at Headingley, where Durham are 129 runs behind. So yeah, Durham would have to fall in a heap for it to not be Hampshire heading to Division 2 to join these two teams next season. As Aitchison, the man with a place to be, bowls to Stewart, turns this one away into the onside. Sister is among the replacements for the Red Roses in the World Cup final at Twickenham this afternoon, along with Rosie Galligan from West Morling. (2014) the last time the Red Roses won, and of course haven't lost a game since the last World Cup when they lost in the final to New Zealand, so wish them all the best later on. Change of field for Compton. Stewart 9 not out, 64 for the left-hander, Ben Compton. Plays defensively into the onside. There was a doubt coming into this game, actually, Ben Compton, with that wrist injury after colliding with Tawanda Miyeye in the Lancashire game. Send our best to Tawanda, who is not involved again this week. I think missed the game against Leicestershire due to concussion protocols. Again, perhaps erring on the side of caution. With his health, which is absolutely valid. It's flicked away by Compton into a nice big gap on the leg side where fielder has just moved to short cover, has vacated. So a simple single for him to move on to 65. Yeah, Dave mentioning Derbyshire have got Caleb Jewell coming back next year. Again, they've got Keith Dudgeon coming back, who played one game for them. Absolutely tore apart the Northamptonshire batting lineup, the big South African. Unfortunately got injured the week after. And that was his season, so he's coming back next year. Aitchison bowls here to Stewart. Towards mid-off. Aitchison. Stewart plays out towards cover. Dave's finished his update. They've not come to me for mine.
They will.
It's almost as if they've forgotten it's the last day of the cricket season.
They'll be with you, don't worry. Probably.
Aitchison with 3 slips to Stewart. Oh, short ball, that's up in the air, it's going to land safe. Went for the hook shot, Grant Stewart. Didn't get much on it, although he got enough to divert it away from Guest and it to not carry as far as Morley. If he'd have connected, it probably would have gone into the cafe or down the Dover Road, but as it was, it just went straight up and came down again, about 20 yards or so away from him. So end of the over, Stewart on 10, Compton 65, deficit down to 265. Kent 162 for 6, having lost Harry Finch, the only man out today so far. LBW to Aitchison, pretty plumb in front, 4-11.
And Lewis Rees to continue. I don't know how long he'll bowl today. It's only his 5th over. He has gone for 20. Looking for a 5th wicket in the innings. 4 for 53 his figures at the moment after 18. He's in now and bowls, and that's left alone by Stewart to go through to Brooke Guest. Not much bounce there. I didn't see the size of the roller this morning, I have to admit. I've given up really, because every time you see the heavy roller your heart sinks. But I didn't see which roller was used this morning. Derbyshire sort of thought the pitch might break up a bit, but it doesn't look like it is. Still looks pretty much the same as it did on day one. Around the wicket goes Rees, and Stewart turns this into the leg side. It's fielded by Donald. Lots of laughter out there, which is good to hear. Sort of D-mob happy, possibly. Players with planes to catch early next week, I imagine. To somewhere sunny. Having spent the entire summer out in the sun, they're going to look for some sun. Stewart waits, turns this next Rees delivery into the leg side once again, where it's fielded by an Iron Donald.
I hear Malta's nice at this time of year.
Yeah. I don't really fly. I don't really go on holiday, if I'm honest. Life is one long holiday.
Yeah, my mum's not much into flying either.
I'm not a big flyer. Once in the last 10 years, I think, or twice, because I came back, but this one is pushed into the offside by Stewart, fielded by Madsen.
I mean, airports are not much fun, let's be honest. Turbulence neither.
Less fun with young children, I would have thought. I mean, we didn't fly at all when our children were young, but my daughter went to a wedding in Portugal and went by coach and train.
Oh.
I think it took a while.
I mean, it's doable. Just a little bit.
These balls, there's some swinger for him there, and it swings straight onto the middle of Grant Stewart's bat, and he clips it away out to mid-wicket for a boundary. Nice shot, but there was definitely some in-swing.
It was in the air, not close enough to mid-wicket.
He just clipped it away. He moves on to 14, as I say, 166 for 6. Runs not too much of a problem for Derbyshire.
No.
The Kent batters will want to score some runs, because there's nothing worse than just leaving and defending.
Yeah, that's not really Grant Stewart's style.
No.
Compton's got a milestone that I'm sure it would be nice to pass.
And a strike rate of 55, which is decent.
His strike rate's actually not been that bad all year. I was looking this up the other day thinking, really? Ben Compton doesn't score that quickly, but seemingly has all season. At around about 50. Yeah, strike rate going into this game just shy of 50.
Rees bowls to Stewart short, and it's lifted down the ground, very much a flat batted shot over the head and to the right of the man at mid-on. Harry came, and for 4 more, so a couple of boundaries to finish that over. Rees gets a pat on the back from Wayne Madsen. And statistically, we all want him to get a wicket.
Does that mean you're a proper batter if your average is higher than your strike rate?
Yes, I think it probably does, doesn't it? Yeah, I think it probably does.
In the sort of Jeffrey Boycott definition of proper batter.
Yeah. Not taking chances.
In the same way, if your bowling average is lower than your batting average.
Well, yes. Yeah, no question about that. If you're an all-rounder, Lewis Rees's bowling average is 19. And his batting average is 64.
Listen, that's about as good as it gets in terms of the difference between the two.
Yes. It is a remarkable red ball season. Hasn't opened the batting throughout, so he's got a few not outs, but of course if you're batting with the tail and still scoring runs.
Yeah, absolutely. Compton then defends this next one from Aitchison. He turns around and looks accusingly at the pitch where he's landed, delivering that one.
Some people just arriving. That's a high-risk strategy. Missing the first 45 minutes of play when you're 5 down and looking to hang on.
I think today was probably the earliest my dad's got here. all season,
Yeah.
and that was because I gave him a lift. As Aitchison comes around the wicket. Oh, hits Compton on the front pad. Out! Compton is annoyed and stops briefly to look at the umpire in dismay. But it was a full delivery from Aitchison from around the wicket. The debate will be, from certainly Compton's point of view, is whether he got outside the line of the off stump. I don't think he did. Looks good to me. I think that's probably a fair call, and Ben Compton's phenomenal season comes to a close with 65. Gets a really good hand.
Thoroughly deserved. Thoroughly deserved.
And the supporters here at Canterbury looks disappointed with himself because I believe he's fallen just short in terms of 1400 for the season, having made 46 in the first innings before he was bowled by a bit of a ripper from Jack Morley. 65 for him in the second innings.
He must have been close to being outside the line. He was close.
Yeah, he was kind of he started off on leg stump really. He did shuffle across, but Aitchison wasn't actually coming from that wide around the wicket.
No.
I think it probably has hit him in line. So 7 down then, 174-7. Yeah, by my reckoning, Compton was about 14 short of 1400. If my maths is correct.
You comfortable with that?
My maths is not normally correct in fairness, but I think it might be on this occasion.
1386 it says on here.
Yeah, but that's what I've made it. So I think that's updated.
He won't finish the leading run scorer either. Same as Zabe's past 1400 for the season now.
So Aitchison. So Corey Flintoff, the new man, keeps this one out, defends up towards mid-on. Aitchison is hunting now these final few wickets. He can almost smell the burger kiosks outside Twickenham.
Be quinoa, wouldn't it?
The craft ale, etc.
Yes, I've never been to a game at Twickenham.
Here comes Aitchison again, left alone outside the off stump. My current beef with Twickenham is the fact that it now has a sponsor's name.
No, well, yeah, nobody calls it that now, do they? Yeah.
But when I hear people calling it that, I'm like, why?
Yeah.
It's Twickenham. Everybody knows it as Twickenham. Not the name of the bank who also sponsor Bayern Munich's football stadium. Can't have two stadiums the same name. Come
Well,
on.
there's one in Australia.
Is there?
and
Another
there's
one?
I think the one in Ireland as well.
Crikey. Turned away into the onside.
But you're right, yes, you can't. Like, for instance, you couldn't have two St James's Park, could you?
So yeah, there's one in Munich, one in Sydney, one in Twickenham.
Is there not one in Ireland? Have I
Might be one in Turin.
Yeah.
What nonsense is it? You're right, actually, St James's Park.
You can't have two St James's Parks. I think there's a different apostrophe in them now.
Aitchison bowls. Flintoff defends. Can't believe that. Oh, I was semi-joking, but there's even more Allianz stadiums than you thought.
Well, now you've said it.
Oh, sorry, everyone. Got suckered into it. The one in Ireland is a different insurance firm.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yes.
See, now I hate that they've got me to say it.
Yeah.
They've suckered me in.
Gets you every time. Lewis Reese is going to bowl from the pavilion end. It's the fifth a 6th over of his current spell. And you can't imagine he's going to carry on for too much longer. And he has 4 wickets. Ripped out the top of the Kent order in the second innings. Taking the first 4 wickets to fall, in fact. He's on his way in now, and that one's left alone by Stewart. So, to come, Matthew Parkinson and Michael Cohen. So we're almost waiting for the inevitable now, unless Grant Stewart can do something absolutely astonishing. And he waits for Rees to bowl to him, and he digs out a full delivery, pushes it back to the Derbyshire left armour.
I think it becomes a question of when. Might be time for sweepstakes on time of the day that we think this game might be finished.
I'm not sure when it'll be required after 11:30, but you never know. Rees is in again, and Stewart pushes this one into the offside. It's fielded by Wayne Madsen.
What were we saying earlier on, that Derbyshire have got a bus to catch?
From what I understand, if they don't leave by 2:30 due to the bizarre driving restrictions, they have to wait until 5:30.
So presumably the driver is currently on shift, waiting to go.
Then he has to have a 3-hour break, even though the bus hasn't moved.
Even though he hasn't got anywhere.
No, he hasn't even turned the key. As Rees bowls, that one's pushed out into the offside. It just means that if they finished at 2:15, it'd be a very rushed post-match interview, I fancy. Necessarily ideal. And anyway, Mickey, just tell me about the rest of the season, Fletcher. Can't. The bus is already moving.
The bus is literally leaving.
Oh. Well, Rees had started, but Wayne Madsen's still manipulating his field. He's sent Martin Anderson over to become a second mid-wicket alongside an Aaron Donald. He's only got the one slip, Rees, and that is Ben Aitchison. And Rees is now ready to come in and bowl to Stewart. He pushes it to cover where it's fielded by Wayne Madsen. I wonder what the mindset of the Durham players is at this moment in time. It's just go out there and bat, make sure you don't. I mean, Yorkshire would probably prefer it if Durham were in the division, you'd think. Not quite a local derby, but as close to one as Durham ever get. This next one is defended again by Stewart, back to Lewis Rees. Matt Milnes is bowling. 2 overs for 2. Jack White. The other one, Alex Lees and Emilio Gay, opening up for Durham, who are 7 without loss. That's the end of the over here, incidentally. 170 for 7. And they're still trailed by 122. Once they get in front, they can all shake hands, but they've got 2 very capable batters there in Lees and Gay. Another, along with Grant Stewart and Wayne Madsen, Italy international, Emilio Gay. I think Madsen obviously qualifies through his family. I think Emilio Gay qualifies through his first name, but I'm not sure. He clearly has some family from Italy.
Aitchison bowls very wide of the off stump, and Corey Flintoff, of course famous for his last name, chases the ball outside the off stump and makes no contact. 3 slips were ready and waiting, along with the wicketkeeper if he did nick it, as well as 3 spectators on the front row of the deep cover boundary if it came in their direction. Flintoff waits for Aitchison, nudges away to the onside.
Still on a pair, of course. It was 2 ball duck in the first innings for Corey Flintoff. Derby County supporting Derbyshire supporters, and there are many. Stick with us. It doesn't start till 12:30, but Patrick Agyman is making his first start for Derby County today. Long-awaited first start.
Ben Aitchison bowls. Oh, goes past the outside edge of Flintoff's bat. Of course, not to be confused with the Patrick Agyman who was born in 1980.
Yeah, no.
44, that would be impressive if he was still going.
Yes. This is a United States international, Patrick Agyman. It says 2 changes, but I don't know sufficient about Derby County to spot who he's replaced and who the other one is.
Again, the ball travels past the outside edge of Flintoff's bat. I think that one he was partially just playing down the original line. The ball has swung away quite significantly and gone pretty harmlessly past the outside edge. But testing little period this at the moment for young Corey Flintoff against Aitchison, who's getting this ball to talk. Bowls here again, left alone outside the off stump, more deliberately so on this occasion.
See that Potter had been sacked by West Ham.
I know, that's all happened in the last half an hour, I think.
Yeah, but just caught it on the 11 o'clock news. Nuno set to replace him, as all the usual suspects just swap jobs.
Well, they're not playing till Monday night. I did think that was peculiar to sack a manager on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
But likewise, I'm still surprised they didn't do it on Monday. Last Monday. Aitchison bowls. Short and wide and chased this once again, Corey Flintoff, but no contacts at the end of the over. 170 for 7 it remains after that maiden. Flintoff none from 10 and Stewart there on 18. The men out today, Finch LBW to Aitchison for 11 and Compton LBW to Aitchison. Both of them looked fine to me for 65, and Compton ending 14 shy of 1400 for the season in the county championship. There is still a ballot box in the club shop for members to cast their votes for Player of the Year. And there was a conversation as somebody was putting a vote in when I was in the shop earlier on about the identity of who was going to win it.
Reese begins a new over, and that one is clipped down the ground by Stewart for a single shy at the stumps from Harry Kane. I think Stewart probably about 5 yards past the stumps by the time the ball got to them.
Somebody joked that Frank Willie was currently in second place. Did have a brief joke as well with some of the personnel at Gillingham having spent Monday at Beckenham under the guise of Min Patel. The footballers had a little bit of a go at cricket themselves. Bit of a team building, team bonding type day, which I'm surprised you need when you're 21 games unbeaten in the league, but why not? Go and play some cricket on a Monday instead of playing football. Full ball from Reese defended.
Is it me?
Yeah.
Sorry,
I was telling an anecdote, wasn't I?
I'm miles away.
Yeah, I think Gareth Ainsworth said, well, none of them would get in the Kent team, and there were a few eyebrows. a couple of jokes.
Yes.
Bradley Dack, I think, used to play when he was younger. Looked to be useful. So there was a clip on social media doing the rounds of him juggling a high catch, but holding on quite competently in the end.
Imagine it'd be good for the socials, that kind of thing. It's Reese bowls, and that one is driven into his foot. That's Reese's foot by Flintoff. Rebounds into the covers. It's Burton's players yesterday, I think it was, the video came out. Were doing a lot of putting. It might have been the day before. It was all to do with the Ryder Cup.
Ah, yes, indeed.
Gary Bowyer, the manager, head coach, let himself down really badly by missing the mat altogether.
Oh no!
That they were putting on.
Dear.
I can't wait to talk to him about it. As Reese bowls a full delivery outside the off stump, Flintoff rather than leaving it, plays it, but doesn't time it and goes straight back.
What's your handicap, Gary?
Yes.
What's your average putts per round?
I think he'd be still on the first. Putting it backwards and forwards past the hole by the look of the... one or two had Harry Eisted, the goalkeeper. He sent a nice long range one in. Finn Delap as well. Reese's in and balls. There's a swing and a miss at that one from Flintoff. He's not really getting to the pitch of the ball. He's just relying on his hand-eye coordination, I think, out there at the moment, Corey Flintoff. That's what it looks like from here, certainly.
We did a colleague of mine, Ollie Turner, and that works up at Humberside. We did a 20-foot. Well, it was one shift, one afternoon sort of challenge where we went round different locations across the county and tried to play as many sports as we could in that given day.
His balls, that one is driven. He's not going to get off the mark though. It's a nice stop there by Jack Morley, who gets the applause of his teammates. And Reese, well, he's now bowled 7 overs in this spell. It might be coming to an end, and that would be really disappointing on so many fronts. 4 for 62 from 21 overs, 171 for 7.
Yeah, 49 wickets for the season. Just want him to get one more. So yeah, we were on a putting green, a practice putting green at a course in Hildenborough, sort of two-tiered, two-levelled green. And I've sort of knocked one, try and run it close, fluked it first time, hole in one on camera.
Did you run away in celebration?
Yeah, I did actually. I got a bit carried away.
Good.
So yeah, got video evidence. No evidence that it was the first time, but it actually was. I could have done it 100 times and not stuck it in fairness. So Aitchison to continue. He's the man with his tail up at the moment. Driven away here by Stewart, fumbled in the covers, but stopped. Dave Fletcher's going to update the good people of BBC Radio Derby
And the backgrounds.
and the football fans who are going to be briefly interrupted in their hour and a half long introduction to the Derby County game by the cricket skill, which is 171 for 7. Stewart defends up towards mid-on. For those of you that are interested, BBC Radio Kent Sports up from 2 o'clock today, live from Priestfield. We've got FA Cup third qualifying round action as well via the BBC Sport app and website. 3 Kent derbies, 2 of them online. We're covering on the show today. So Aitchison bowls, flicked away down towards long leg. So Chatham against Deal, Cray Valley Paper Mills against Tunbridge Angels, and Ebbsfleet United against Faversham Town. A couple of subplots with managers, former clubs, etc. as well. New manager in at Tunbridge up against an old Angels boss. And then the Faversham manager used to play for Gravesend and Northfleet before the current guys of Ebbsfleet United. So yeah, looking forward to probably listening to that on my way home, depending on what time proceedings finish here at Canterbury. It's flicked away for his first runs in the match by Corey Flintoff, and it's actually very well timed indeed, and he's got 4 courtesy of a tumbling attempt to stop the ball by Jack Morley on the long leg boundary. He ended up just flicking the ball in the air over the top of the rope quite entertainingly. So Flintoff has 4. pitch, who has 20 at the other end. So Flintoff facing Aitchison here. Gets the bat down in time to keep that one off his stumps. Well, here comes that radio update. Yeah, the season drawing towards a close. Kent have just 3 more wickets remaining in their second innings and look to be heading towards defeat here against Derbyshire. 251 still the deficit between the teams after Derbyshire's 698 for 6 declared in their first innings. Double centuries from Madsen and Rees. Rees looking for 50 wickets in the season, is still just on 4 for in this second innings. It's Ben Aitchison who's taken the wickets. He's the man on the mission. He's the one that wants to get to Twickenham this afternoon because his sister's on the bench for the Red Roses in that Women's World Cup final. He's got both the wickets. LBW both. Finch for 11 and Ben Compton surely to be Kent's man of the season. He's ended up 14 runs shy of 1400 in the county championship despite Kent finishing bottom of the pile in Division 2. Compton has had a marvellous season with the bat, finishing his final knock with 65 before he was at LBW. So Grant Stewart out there on 20, Corey Flintoff there on 4, and of course next season these two teams look like they'll probably be playing against Hampshire because they've been beaten by Surrey today in a dramatic finish in Division 1 of the county championship. 160 all out in the end. Hampshire, they fell 20 runs shy of, or 21 runs shy really of winning the game as Chahar picked up 8 wickets, the Indian spinner, the overseas player, in the second innings, and he got the final wicket as well of James Fuller, who cut the ball behind to the wicketkeeper with Brad Wheel left stranding. So Hampshire's defeat means Yorkshire are staying up. Durham have just got a draw against Yorkshire now to stay up likewise, and it could be Hampshire heading to Division 2 to play against these two teams. Derbyshire looking to finish this off to finish third as Zach Chappell comes into the attack. Commentary continues with this game via the BBC Sport app and website. Kent 176 for 7 in the Canterbury sunshine on the final morning of the season. See how Rees taken out of the attack then, having a blow for the time being. I wonder if he'll be back in the attack before too long if they get towards the 8th, 9th wickets. Stewart cuts here for a single out towards deep point for a single. Move on to 21.
This is a team on the up, and Derbyshire, if they win this one, 3 wins, it's 2 seasons put together.
Here comes Chappell again. He's got 2 slips in play to bowl to Flintoff, who's nudging this off the back foot out towards cover. There's short cover, more of a deepish cover. Backward point, mid off, short mid wicket, long leg. In position for the top fast bowler. Here he comes, bowls, defended back up the pitch by Corey Flintoff. So just the one off the over so far, which means the deficit down to 250.
Sorry, Matt, I was asked a question now. It's most unusual.
What was the question? What did you make of Derby's lineup?
Yes, I'm glad they didn't, because they don't know what to make of Derby's lineup from what I was listening to there.
They got air to fill, in fairness. As Chappell was in and bowling. Clipped away down towards fine leg. Is man of Kent Ibu Adams in the team today?
Yes, he is. He's lost the captaincy to Lewis Travis, who arrived after that protracted transfer from John Eustace's former club Blackburn Rovers.
Former Dartford player. Ebro Adams. I
Is
saw
he
it.
really?
I saw him
All
play
right.
non-league football for Dartford
Excellent.
when I first started this job.
Likes a tackle.
Yes,
Likes a tackle, Ebu.
ex-Ebbs Fleet player as well. Yeah, good to see him doing well. So this one's flown away out towards backward point off a pretty thick outside edge. End of the over. 178 for 7 Kent. 3 more wickets needed for the Derbyshire victory.
Yeah, the question that was asked was how much of an improvement has there been in Derbyshire's red ball cricket? Well, it's like chalk and cheese, really. And they've won, if they win this one, they'll have won 3 times as many games this season as they did in the previous 2 seasons put together, which still isn't stellar, 3 wins, but it's a heck of an improvement. With Matt Montgomery coming next season, already signed up, and Mohammed Abbas, we're told, might be coming. Ben Aitchison to continue from the Nackington Road end. This is his 8th over, and he's bowled taken 2 for 10 in his previous 7, so he does and often has bowled long spells.
Abbas likewise.
Well, yes, quite.
Formerly of Leicestershire, of course.
Just won the title with Nottinghamshire. Reported first a couple of weeks ago. I haven't heard anybody try and knock it down, this rumour. As in comes Aitchison again. That one is defended by Flintoff, back to him.
Yeah, it must help when Mickey Arthur's your coach to attract overseas players.
Yes, absolutely. Although, well, he brought Saranga Lakmal in his first season. He retired from Test cricket with Sri Lanka, and unfortunately left all his form in Sri Lanka as well, and then picked up a bad elbow injury, and it was a bit messy. Aitchison bowls, Flintoff goes for the big pull into the leg side. It goes underneath his bat and through to Brook. He's going to give a chance eventually.
Yeah, it didn't get particularly close to that one, did it?
No, nowhere near it.
It did somewhat grub through, but
probably passed about 8 inches below his bat. Caleb Jewell was a roaring success with 1,000 runs in the championship, all format player. Aitchison bowls and Flintoff pushes it into the offside. He'll be back next season, Caleb.
yeah, when he signed pre-season, I think, and I was looking at it, as
I hope you said who.
someone not connected to Derbyshire. Well, I did have to look him up a little bit, but it looked like he's come more from a kind of white ball, one-day background. I think his one-day average looked, a lot healthier than his 4-day average. But
Won the Bash last year with the Hobart Hurricanes. He's moved to one of the Melbourne franchises now for next season. As Aitchison is in and bowls down the leg side. That's a good take, both hands by Brooke Guest, tumbling away to his left. But he'd played for Doncaster Town in one of the Premier Leagues in Yorkshire the year before and scored about 4 runs over the course, not quite, but over the course of the season. He had a difficult time, and we were all thinking, no, what's happening here? Half centuries in each of his first 5 first-class innings soon allayed our fears. As Aitchison is in and completes another maiden over, his 5th in 12 overs, 2 for 33, 2 for 10 in 8 overs this morning. Been nice and tight. Is he going to carry on? I wonder. Anuj Dal is swinging his arms about, so he's an option.
yeah, all of our thoughts that Jack Morley would be heavily involved. Not the case on the basis that the ball seems to be doing a little bit in the air.
Yeah, see, Dal looks like he's going to be the replacement for Ben Aitchison, which makes sense. He's very much the 4th seamer in this team. So Martin Anderson bowled with the old ball yesterday. Looked like he was limping from minute 1.
Chappell past the umpire and bowls very wide of the off stump. Sort of delivery that in most forms of cricket would be called a wide, but wides don't really exist in county championship cricket unless you're a spinner bowling around the wicket and it goes leg side, and then you get done for negative line of attack.
Or you Mikey Cohen.
Oh,
He bowled a few the other night. Some really short stuff that...
oh yeah, it's the height. Yeah,
no chance of reaching them.
Chappell. Driven away by Grant Stewart. That was a full swinging delivery. Big swing of the bat. Hard out towards cover. Yeah, Matt Parkinson was getting increasingly frustrated the other week when he was bowling around the wicket to try and spin it out of the rough. And the deliveries that weren't turning and were going down the leg side were being wided because of the peculiar rules and whatever about so-called negative bowling, when he was in fact trying to do the opposite, if you think about it. So this is full and driven up towards mid-off this time by Stewart, and the star ends up in a heap on the floor as he does the fielding.
And Matt Parkinson, who was taking the mickey out of Mikey Cohen the other morning, was sitting down on one of the two little tables that they put outside the change room, myself and Griff. Mikey came and had a chat with us, because that's what he does.
Here comes Chappell. Steered into the onside by Grant Stewart here. Come through for a single. Move on to 22.
Did ask him if he was on the naughty step after the shot previously. So he started talking about angles of launch and stuff that baffled me completely. Then he went off.
He was definitely trying to launch it.
Oh yeah,
into a different stratosphere, isn't it?
And then he went out to warm up with the rest of his teammates, and Matt Parkinson came out to the boundary's edge and said, "Mikey, do you fancy a hit?"
Good.
Apparently, when he walked into the change room, it wasn't stony silence. It was just amusement.
I'm glad they saw the funny side. This one's played off the back foot. We did too in the BBC Redding Kent production studio. See the funny side on the basis that Ryan and I both play village cricket, and our immediate reaction was, yeah, that's a good ball in village cricket. To be fair, the nice loopy full toss that gets flayed into the hands of a fielder.
The only saving grace of the whole incident was the good catch by Jack Morley off his own bowling, sort of diving across to his right hand side and getting both hands to it. It was a good catch.
Chappell bowls to Flintoff down the leg side. The only other thing I would say is that Cohen, in theory, had done his job.
Yes, I said that to him actually.
Because Jayden Denley didn't have to come out till the next morning.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think he was taking full credit for having done his job. Reese is back on the field, so Nick Potts runs off, but is then diverted because Amrit Bajra wants to leave for a moment, so he's going to go off now, and Nick Potts will stay on as a substitute fielder. And Ben Aitchison, well, he's going to bowl all morning by the look of it. He's going to bowl his 9th over in a row here. 2 for 10 this morning, trapping both Harry Finch and Ben Compton leg before wicket. Derbyshire still need 3 more wickets. The deficit 248. Kent following on, of course. 2 slips in place, Madsen and Anderson. Is it me? Aitchison bowls and is defended by Stewart. Back towards Big Ben. Hopefully he and his dad, who I know is going to Twickenham today, will be listening in as he prepares for Holly's big day. She's amongst the replacements for England in the final. This next one is driven up towards mid-off, but it's fielded by Lewis Rees, but they scamper through for a single. I think Aitchison would probably prefer to bowl at Flintoff. Stewart moves on to 23, certainly swinging the bat sufficiently to give chances at some point. Yeah, Holly was injured at the start of the tournament, which is never ideal, is it? Came off the bench in the semi-final.
They've got so many options at fly half, in fairness
absolutely.
as well, don't they?
She came on as inside centre, I think, in the semi-final against France. Aitchison bowls. Sounded like an expert here.
Look at you go.
Flintoff looks underneath it. I'm not. an expert in rugby union.
Comes on as a second kicking option then at inside centre.
Yeah, apparently. We go to Sale Sharks once a year, usually around my birthday, which is very entertaining and I enjoy it immensely, but I wouldn't call myself an expert in anything really. Just some bowls, and Flintoff turns this down towards fine leg off his hip with his bat and picks up another single to move to 6. 181 for 7. Little cry of come on H-E. The boy is working hard this morning. Surfer dude's just arrived.
Rothesay coffee in hand.
Indeed, that one. Oh, he went. It looked initially as though Stewart was going to try and fetch that from a short ball from a long way outside off stump and sort of bailed out as it went through to Brooke Guest. That was almost a delivery which said, look Wayne, I have still got a sharp bouncer in me, so keep me on. I thought that Alice Dahl was going to go off. Interestingly, the fielding pads are already on and Aaron Donald. That one strikes the pad at Grant Stewart or just slightly above and goes out into the offside. It was angling down the leg side, and the over comes to an end. 13 overs, 2 for 35 now as Amrit Basra returns to the field of play. Are we going to see, I'm sure we are going to see Zach Chappell continue from the pavilion end. He's in a lengthy conversation with Wayne Madsen, his skipper. So I think it's more about field placings than come on son, put your back into it, because if Zach Chappell does nothing else, he puts his back into it every occasion. I'm sure Zach will be hitting the nightclubs. He strikes me as a hitting the nightclubs kind of guy. I mean, he might not be.
A sort of man that would stand out in a nightclub.
Oh yeah, he'd be the cool one, wouldn't he?
Oh, well, I mean, owing to his height, but yeah, I could see him with a pair of dark glasses on, in a sort of sectioned off booth in the corner of a nightclub. He bowls a full delivery. That's a handsome looking straight drive from Corey Flintoff towards mid off.
Do you think they'll come to you at midday, or they'll not bother?
Yeah, it might do.
I like a Saturday afternoon because there's no time constraints on me.
Oh yeah, you don't have your 20 seconds.
Cram it into 20 seconds at any stage.
Chapel bowls. Cut away, or toe ended by Flintoff down towards third man. That'll work. We'll move on to double digits as a result. On to 10. Kent on to 185 for 7. Yeah, I'll be surprised if Kent make it to the Sports Hub this afternoon at 2 o'clock. But of course there is 40 minutes for lunch, if they survive the next 40 minutes. Without being 9 down and then having to play an extra half an hour.
Yeah, that's not good for anybody, is it?
And the umpires coming together to discuss the ball, possibly, which from a Kent point of view has been swinging around far too much for the home team's liking.
It's not gone through the gauge, so we need a new ball, I think. Yeah, there's lots of pointing towards the box, wherever it is down below us. Anisdale thought for a moment about going to fetch it and then realised he's probably going to be bowling soon, so the last thing he wants is to run 50 yards to pick up a briefcase and then run back with it.
Send the 12 man on to do it instead.
Yeah. Jason wants a drink. Unsurprisingly, umpire Hassan Adnan's jogging across with some purpose there to join in the discussion on the changed ball. It's the first ball that's been changed in the match. That's quite refreshing. I don't recall a ball being changed. We've had new balls. I usually write that down, so I'm not going to prove myself 100% incorrect.
Safe Zabe's season, by the way, has come to an end. 58 for Northants today, passing 400. Top run scorer in Division 2. 400? 1400 rather.
Yeah. He's a good player, isn't he?
Yeah, he's had a fine season.
Got himself a few franchise gigs as well, so not only is he a good player, he's a slightly richer player than he was last year.
Good on him. Essex have beaten Somerset by 7 wickets.
It barely caused a ripple.
Indeed.
Nobody cared. I'm sure
Especially not round here in fairness.
No, absolutely. I'm sure they probably did in Taunton. They do take cricket quite seriously there. A victory for Don Topley.
Over the blast. Holders, of course. Chappell then with a different ball. In hand. Clipped away gently by Corey Flintoff. Onto the onside for a single. 34 deliveries he's been out there for. He's played them with varying degrees of composure. That was nicely played.
I can't find a ball change anyway. Derbyshire will get a new ball should they require one. Not for another 21 and a half overs, but it has been reasonably effective, the new ball.
Chappell bowls, full delivery. Oh, driven nicely by Grant Stewart through point. It's making its way towards the boundary, but good chasing from Basra. Come back for 3.
Always good when his cap falls off as well, Lamrit Basra. That is a magnificent head of hair.
Makes it look like you really put in the work in the field when the cap comes off as well.
One size too big. Can guarantee the cap flying.
189 for 7. Stewart moves to 26 and brings Flintoff back on to strike. Taps his bat and waits for Chappell. Full delivery driven up towards mid-on. No run. Still the sunshine bathing the St Lawrence ground.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful day.
I suspect it's rather warmer out there as well than it was on Wednesday when the sun was shining, but it was bitingly windy and cold. A lot stiller today. A lot less full-blown ski jackets on, as this one is short and in the air and could be caught at deep square leg, and the catch is taken and Corey Flintoff goes to the short ball banged in from Zach Chappell, and an Aaron Donald with a safe pair of hands in the deep departs for 11, just as Finch did earlier on. Compton out for 65. 3 wickets lost by Kent today. And they are 189 for 8, and Derbyshire just need 2 more now to secure a season-ending victory.
Yeah, he put one down yesterday in Aaron Donald. It might have flashed through his head. Everybody thought he'd caught it, especially Anuj Dowell, who raced across to congratulate him and to discover the ball was 2 feet behind him. But it was a nice catch out on the bound. It is windy, which makes those catches out in the deep quite tricky. So well done to an Aaron Donald. 2 to go.
It's almost hit deliberately up on the shot, Flintoff. And was kind of fetching it from outside off. As a result, top-edged it. Matt Parkinson then comes out at number 10 rather than 11 this time around.
Can be belligerent, can't he? You can hang around.
Yeah, I mean, last season he kept on breaking his first class best last season. Like he'd been, really putting in the work in the off season, etc.
Expensive business, that though.
This season he's averaging just 5 with a top score of 17.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not quite happened for him with the bat this season. Whereas last year he kept on getting 20s and more. And he's gradually increasing his first class best.
I can see this game finishing during my 12 o'clock update. That's my prediction now.
I think lunch is looking in jeopardy now.
Yeah, I think so. Well, we haven't been asked anyway today, have we?
That's a good point, actually.
Just leaving us to our own devices.
48 Matt Parkinson's first class career best.
Delayed lunch will be no good for my bladder, by the way. At my age, you cannot afford a delayed lunch. Look who it is. It's Ben Aitchison. 10th over of the morning. Initially bowling to Grant Stewart. He's on his way in now. Oh, goes past the edge of Grant Stewart's bat as well. Nicely bowled.
I love how Derbyshire have said, come on then Ben, you got somewhere to be. You can get us there.
Yeah, you're the one who needs to get away early, son.
You can do all the bowling.
Before he picked up his horrific series of back and ankle injuries, he used to bowl very long spells and said he just enjoyed it because he can get into a rhythm, as he seems to be now, although that one's a bit short and it's pulled into the leg side by Grant Stewart for a single. He moves on to 27, 191 for 8.
I think Jack Morley lost the fly at that for a moment. He looked like he was about to try and field it as well. 2 fielders looked like they were trying to field the ball there on the boundaries.
He's looking slightly bewildered and confused down there, Jack. Before he did the interview last night, he handed his bank card to Ben Aitchison to go and buy some drinks. That's a high-risk strategy, I always think. Said he trusted him. He's from Formby, though. Into bowl to Parkinson down the leg side, and nicely taken by Brooke Guest, tumbling away to his left. 3 balls to go in the over. 2 wickets required by Derbyshire. Nice that Zach Chappell picked up 1 in each innings now as well. Good reward for him. Used largely as an enforcer style bowler. 3 slips, crouch down, and Aitchison is in and bowls to Parkinson, who turns it nicely into the leg side. Stewart sets off for the single, but manages to stop and turn round before the ball is released by Amrit Basra.
There was almost a slight danger of some jeopardy there.
Just for a split second, I thought he'd gone further than he had, actually. Donald also took that catch whilst wearing the fielding pads, which he has on.
Good effort.
Suggests that we might see some Jack Morley, but will we really? I don't think so. As Aitchison is in and Parkinson defends up to mid-on. As that Chappell does the fielding. I'm going to play a game of cricket Russian roulette in a minute. I'm going to... The listeners don't need to know this, but I'm going to tell them anyway, just to fill in some airtime. Do my update and then dash. And then come back.
Go for it.
2 and 2 balls wouldn't be any good. Just some short delivery. Ducks underneath it. Parkinson ducks underneath it well, actually. And it goes through to Brooke Guest.
I'll go over the top big if it gets wrapped up.
Oh, it doesn't. Nobody will be too worried. I've just been mentioned in a WhatsApp message.
Just in case BBC Radio Derby wish to use it in the next 6 hours of football coverage. There you go. So then 190 for 8. 3 wickets lost so far today. Finch and Flintoff for 11. Compton for 65. A little bit of a committee meeting going on between Madsen and co. Chappell deciding how he's going to go about this. Is he going to come around the wicket and bang it into Stewart here and set the fielders back? Don't mind it as a tactic. Grant Stewart will probably have a go. As mentioned earlier on, in that 100 he scored at Blackpool. Premeditated short stuff. Grant Stewart is quite happy to get the baseball bat out and see if he can hit a couple of home runs. Corey Flintoff seemingly tried it. Getting up on his hook shot and caught in the deep. Let's see what Stewart does, because Chappell was running around the wicket to bowl to him. It wasn't actually that short in the end, and I think it might have hit Grant Stewart in the thigh pad. So slightly foxed him seemingly with the fuller delivery. Corey Flintoff has already taken all his whites off, put his training gear on, and he's wandering round the boundary with Ben Dawkins. Yeah, the season coming to a close, the County Championship season, the last day, and there's just 2 more wickets for Derbyshire to get here as Grant Stewart smashes this for 6 into the onside, a short ball which he has walloped out towards the indoor centre. And as a result, Kent move on to 196 for 8. Stewart there on 33, but we've seen Corey Flintoff, son of Andrew Freddie Flintoff, of course, a few moments ago, caught in the deep, trying to play a similar shot out to Zach Chappell. Ben Aitchison got the 2 wickets earlier on, of course. He's got a ticket for Twickenham for the Women's Rugby Union World Cup final later on, because his sister Holly's on the bench for the Red Roses. So he's a man in a hurry, man with a place to be. He's got 2 wickets. Finch for 11 LBW, and then Ben Compton, Kent's man of the season surely, LBW for 65. He's ended up 14 runs shy of 1400 for the season, but Kent will of course finish bottom of County Championship Division 2, and Derbyshire hoping to finish 3rd in the top division though. Earlier on today, victory for Surrey by 20 wickets over Hampshire means that Hampshire will be relegated and will be playing these 2 teams in the County Championship next year, along with Worcestershire. So the final few bits and pieces being rounded up on the final day of the season as Stewart pulls this next ball out towards the boundary, this time for just a single. 197 for 8 Kent. Lunch at 12:30, but we might even play until 1 o'clock if Derbyshire are hunting victory, with commentary on the BBC Sport app and website. Yeah, bang that one in, Chappell from around the wicket, and like I say, when Grant Stewart knows that you're going to send one into the pitch, he sets himself on that back foot and absolutely bludgeons it. Not many boundaries, particularly in this country, are long enough if Grant Stewart gets it out the middle of the bat. Helmet coming on for a short leg here, because Matt Parkinson appears to be about to receive the same sort of treatment, with the short ball coming his way, and Parky probably less keen than Grant on such a delivery. Spoke to Matt Parkinson after day 1, talking about the season as a whole. As Chappell bowls short and he ducks underneath it, and of course Kent won their first 2 games of the season. After those two games, people might have been thinking that Kent were going to be one of the teams to challenge, and their spirits high in the dressing room, etc. But I asked him, where's it all kind of gone wrong for them, and he pointed that towards that game at Lords against Middlesex as a possible turning point in their season, and obviously Dudgeon's injury didn't help the South African overseas who started so well. Chappell short ball and into the hands of short leg, fended off by Parkinson, and the tactic has worked to perfection, fending it off around his hip. Didn't quite necessarily get up into the rib cage. It wasn't a real snorter, but Parkinson who, as I mentioned, hasn't had the best season with the bat. Certainly in comparison to some of the belligerent knocks we saw from him last season, has just plonked that straight into the hands of an Aaron Donald under the helmet. And he departs without scoring. So Kent are 197 for 9, and it's just one more scalp for Derbyshire to wrap up proceedings. Dave Fletcher's back.
Quite a tame dismissal, really, wasn't it?
It was a little bit. I think I was saying it wasn't even kind of in the rib cage, and he was fending the ball off for his own personal health. He's almost done well to pick out the short leg fielder there.
Looped, in fact, he just had to lean a bit forward. And Aaron Donald to take the catch. The 6 earlier in the over was pretty impressive though from Grant Stewart. That was as hard as I think I've seen a ball hit in the entire match.
Yeah, when Stewart hits the ball, it stays hit, especially if he anticipates that it might be coming short aim. I was saying he picks up the baseball bat and tries to land the home run. It's very much what it feels like. It didn't just clear the rope, it went miles. So,
well, we all know what the result is, don't we?
one wicket required for Derbyshire. It's not going to go until 5:30 unless Mikey Cohen plays the innings of his dreams.
Well, he played a very fine innings on debut for Derbyshire at Trent Bridge, where he scored 30 not out and helped Finn Hudson-Prentice get Derbyshire over the line against Nottinghamshire in the Bob Willis Trophy, August 2020. We were waiting for him to come on and bowl. It took forever for him to come on and bowl, but it was his batting that he's probably best remembered for in that game. 230 runs behind.
Chapel 2 Cohen then. It's very full, outside edge, flashes into the gully along the floor. Keeps it out, Mikey Cohen. So the opportunity is handed over to, yes, Lewis Rees. Are we going to see him come on here from the Nackington Road end?
I like this.
Here we go.
I like this.
Here we go.
Nice from Wayne Madsen. It means Ben Aitchison's mammoth spell of 10 overs, 5 maidens, 2 for 13 has come to an end. But he won't care one jot if Lewis Rees picks up his 5th. In fact, he just hands him the ball and gives him a big pat on the back. He's trying to work out where he should be now. I don't think we need all those fielders there necessarily in the onside, but there we go. Or the offside, I beg your pardon.
Very long leg side boundary here.
Yeah, 3 out there.
Rees were to dig this in.
There is a breeze. I have no idea which way it's blowing. Here comes Rees around the wicket to Grant Stewart, who just guides this out towards the point boundary where Anuj Dal does the fielding, and all the fielders come racing in. In fact, there won't be anybody who's outside a 30-yard circle, I wouldn't have thought, come the end of the rejigging.
No sign of Grant Stewart looking to farm the strike there.
No.
I think he realises if Kent are going to bat all day, then Mikey Cohen's going to have to bat a lot anyway.
He will have to face the odd delivery. He's going to face this delivery from Lewis Rees, who's on his way in now from the Nackington Road, and he takes a couple of steps towards Lewis Rees, very exciting, and then defends it into the offside where it's fielded by Harry Kame.
So he's going to try and ramp it for one moment. Play a little scoop sweep over the shoulder.
Very exciting. When the cricket's finished, they're going to do a quick flash into the football. That's unheard of. Ooh. Genuinely unheard of. Rees is in and bowls to Cohen. Full delivery, clips it into the leg side, out towards Anuj Dal.
You know Derbyshire have had a good season and a good game.
You know how bad they've been in previous seasons. That's the converse of that.
Even the football want a piece of the action.
No, in fairness, the radio station is very good to Derbyshire. It's the 3 professional sports clubs, and one that keeps them going in June and July. Here comes Rees again and bowls to Cohen, who gets up on his toes and plays it up towards mid-on. A neat bit of footwork. Look at that. Oh no. Off the left knee in the end, and it means that Zach Chappell has to go and run 10 yards to pick the ball up eventually. But
he was going so well.
It doesn't strike me as being a footballer, really. Zach Chappell, he's not a footballer's shape. Well, apart from back in Fenway.
Yeah, it looks more second row, doesn't he?
Yes, he's definitely somebody who, when they say it's a gym session today, lads, he doesn't go, oh no, really? Got a short leg going in now, 2 slips and a gully. Backward point was a bit deeper. Short leg, extra cover. Rees bowls. Cohen edges it and is caught by Brooke Guest. Rees has his 5th wicket. Cohen goes for a duck, and Derbyshire have won this game here at Canterbury. Their first innings victory at Canterbury ever, remarkably, and a 5th wicket for Lewis Rees in the innings, which allows me to bring out the stat of the day, which is, you know, there have been 61,000 plus first-class matches in cricket history. This is just the 51st player, Lewis Rees, to get a double century in an innings and a fifer in the same match. It's happened 51 times. That is remarkable. Derbyshire win by, I'm not very good at this, an innings and 229 runs, which is a healthy victory in anybody's book. Good catch as well from Brooke Guest, incidentally, to get rid of Mikey Cohen.
Yeah, felt like a fitting conclusion for Lewis Rees to come back on and collect wicket number 50 for the season. Complete the 5-wicket haul. You were saying the last man to do that fifer and double century and salvo.
He's on the ground today. It's Darren Stevens, who I saw this morning.
The great man.
Always good to see Darren. Former Derbyshire player, of course. He is, but he isn't really. Stewart, incidentally, not out 35. Provided some entertainment for the crowd. On the final day, the batters lead the field. Grant Stewart just waits along with Mikey Cohen as Lewis Rees is pushed to the front, and quite right too. What a game he's had. Holds the ball aloft. A double century in Derbyshire's mammoth first innings total of 698 for 6 declared, and now a 5-wicket haul. The 51st player worldwide to score a double century in innings and 5 wickets in an innings in the same match. Remarkable.
Mickey Arthur down the steps to congratulate his boys. From a Kent point of view, a disappointing season comes to a close. Already knew they were going to finish bottom of the county championship prior to this week, but of course it ends in a pretty hefty defeat for what is a very young Kent team. 5 teenagers in it. I'm sure the makeup of the Kent side for day one of the 2026 season could well be very different, but they've got some way to go to return to where they want to be, whereas Derbyshire will head into next season very much looking to build on the positives of this one.
Yeah, not confirm, that's the word I'm looking for. The confirmed 3rd spot in the 2nd division, just behind Glamorgan, missing out on promotion. What an improvement we've seen from Derbyshire over the course of this season. Ben, it's been a delight.
Pleasure, Dave. Thanks very much. And thank you from the listeners as well for your efforts over the last 3 and a bit days. As I say, if you want to check out the football on BBC Radio Derby, that starts in 15 minutes, so you're just in time for kick-off. And then on BBC Radio Kent, the Sports Hub from 2 o'clock this afternoon, where you'll be able to hear reaction I mean, to this game, but mainly to the season as a whole from Adam Hollyoake, the Kent head coach, who I'm sure I'll be chatting to in the next hour or so. So, yeah, on BBC Sport Online, we bid you farewell for the summer. Thank Matt Cole from BBC Radio Kent, Molly Davis, who's been here as our third voice in the last few days, Dan Whiting as well, who was stepping into my chair at the start of the season as well, covering Kent cricket for you, and to all of our colleagues as well, all of you that have listened in, thanks for being part of another cricketing summer on the BBC. Still matches available, still matches going on if you want to check those out. All of the commentaries via the BBC Sport app and website and the live page. Deepak, Steve, Gideon and Ben are all still busy beavering away, covering the remaining matches on there if you want to follow what's going on. So yeah, all done then here at Canterbury with a victory for Derbyshire, as Dave said, by an innings and 229 runs. Farewell from us.
Sort out the membership for next year. If you do it early, there are early bird prices for until the end of January, and also discounts for the young adults. That's those aged 18 to 30. All the details you can cricket.co.uk/membership. Once you sign those memberships, you can buy your ticket for that Women's International here on the 23rd of May next year, where England will take on New Zealand in an international T20. Find out all the latest news. Cricket.co.uk, we run across the socials as well. The end of season awards will take place on Tuesday here. Look forward to seeing you coming from that. And also there will be a members' party right at the start of December on the 1st. All the details at cricket.co.uk.